Hi, everyone. My name is Jill. Pronouns are she, her, or any other pronouns that you feel like. And I'm glad to be here. I think patriarchy will be the one that we're all very much aware of. Because as a queer person, I'm raised up in a system of binary, right? You can either be man or woman. That's it. But as a queer person and as queer people, we are more gender diverse. And I know that gender is something that was made up, the same way sex is something that was made up. So the thing about gender is divided into gender roles, right? So if you're a man, you're supposed to be this way. If you're a woman, you're supposed to be this way. So what happens to the people who don't fit that? Let me give like a basic example from medicine, right? You go to hospital, it's either male or female. If you're anything other than that, they will not treat you well. First of all, you'll be discriminated against, and they will treat you like an anomaly that they don't know how to take care of. And because this system is not built for us, even if something was to happen to us, we don't have any protection from it. So one is medicine, two is protection. If anything happened to you as a queer person and you went to report to the police, you become the issue, not the thing you're trying to report. Because again, system is only built for two types of genders or sex. If you're neither of that, you're not catered to. Even when we talk about romance and we watch films, right? Most stories that are being told about romance are just man and woman. And if you're a queer person, you don't see yourself in it. You might end up thinking, oh, so maybe because I'm this way, then people like me don't fall in love, or people like me don't have communities or find just general love because, again, whatever I am seeing, whatever is being reflected back to me is telling me that because of my queerness or because how outside the margins I am, then my existence is not catered to, nor is it seen as important. So as a queer person who does not fit that category or that box neatly, I'm already looked as something odd. Yes, to some extent, yes. I will say it. I would say that. I'm not trying to do Operation Olympics, but there is a ladder. But there is a ladder, and there's classes of where people are placed, and queer people, disabled people, minorities are usually at the bottom of it, and they get to be, I'd say they get to be oppressed the most. I was I was brought up in the SDA church. Growing up in an SDA church that never talks about queerness or anything to do with gayness or lesbianism or anything, it's never talked about. That thing does not exist. Therefore, it shall never be acknowledged. But because it's something that is never talked about, you just know something is off. Because everything that they're telling you should be, you're not. And already they can tell you're not that. So you're already secluded. You're the weird person. Why are you acting like that? Stop being that. So you already know something is wrong with you. You just never know what it is. And because of it, because it's not even talked about, you don't even find peers or friends or community because it's never talked about. So you grow up thinking, I'm just a loner who is weird. And I'm just surrounded by people who don't understand me. And then you get out of the church and then you meet other people like you and you're like, oh, okay. So I wasn't weird. I wasn't unique. Being in the church made me feel like I was inherently wrong. And being a Christian is inherently right. So for me to be right, for me to be okay, I should be a Christian. There's no way of me to exist that is okay. Why would I want to serve a God or to have a God that I don't know how to explain it well, but I wouldn't want to serve someone who requires me to be dishonest and requires me to not be me for me to be perfect. Like, it's like I'm sorry for this example, dating someone who requires you to pretend, then clearly you're not dating me. Yeah, you're into performance. You want me to perform. My issue with Christianity and my issue with religion didn't necessarily stem from queerness. In fact, it first started with feminism. Because the church was telling me women are supposed to be, men are supposed to be. And I'm like, no, I don't know what that is, but no. Because I'm seen as a woman, which means the way the church, the rules I'm given in church, don't wear this, don't talk to boys, don't just, I am a temptress, apparently, in church. If you wear a short skirt, the boys will be tempted, no one will go to heaven. So my issue with church started a very long time ago. My relationship with Christianity started from that, from my gender before it got to queerness. Yeah. So me just seeing the way the church moves and the way the church demands duty over self, the way the church is structured as a queer person, and even for some people who are not queer, you don't fit what the church needs you to be, which is why you're there every day repenting and confessing and pleading for God to help you become the thing that church demands you to be. But you're not that thing. And if you're in a system or if you're in an environment that requires you to cut off parts of yourself just to exist, that's a system that's trying to kill you. Because it literally says, whatever you are is wrong. Achana nayo, go be something else. And self-abandonment has never been a healthy way of living for anyone. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people who aren't queer are still stuck in the, I can change, I can do better, I am fixable, there is something to fix. I feel like a lot of queer people have gotten to the point of, you know what, it's not me. Why am I always the person cutting off parts of myself to fit? Why can't I have a religion or a community that accepts me as I am? Why am I always in the wheel of confessing, changing, cutting parts of yourself, pretending, performing, and not being honest with yourself? I feel like there's a lack of honesty in Christianity. I don't know if I can speak as a queer person or just as a person in capitalism. Capitalism demands self-abandonment. Capitalism does not care for self-care. Capitalism does not care that you're sick. Capitalism does not care about you. It demands labor, work. It does not care. Like, capitalism generally is just an exploitative system. You'll find that there's an organization that hires a certain number of men, a certain number of women. You're queer. You're not part of that. Where are you going to get employment from? Who's going to employ you? There's also capitalism loves to exploit the most abandoned people, the most uncared for. So you find that you will get harassed at work, right? But because you're queer and you know how hard it is to get a job, and you might go report it to the HR, but because of homophobia and everything, they're already seeing you as a problem. So there's no protection whatsoever. So the moment you're queer, and you're queer in the way of maybe you don't want children, or because you don't want children or you can't have children because, well, you lack the mechanisms to have children, you're not seen as valuable anymore because you're not giving to the system. So, yeah, I feel like Christianity really needs to go inward and really talk about, because there are different brands of Christianity, right? There's a Christianity in, like, from Ethiopia, there's the one in the Middle East, then there's the one that was brought to us. I like using this statement, you cannot separate art from the artist. Me preaching Christianity to you is very different from someone else preaching Christianity to you. The Christianity that we practice now was brought by white colonizers, capitalists, imperialists. Yeah, that's the Christianity brand that we were brought, and that's the Christianity brand that we still practice. It's still oppressing us, but we don't talk about it. at all. And yeah, I'd love to hear Christians talk about white supremacy, because you also have to analyze parts of the Bible that supported that.